The algorithm doesn't hate Latino creators, it just only loves us when we're being marketable. Have you ever wondered why your feed is flooded with loud, stereotypical Latino content, but goes silent when it comes to Latino struggles? Today we're looking at how social media algorithms push entertainment over activism. Valeria met a micro-influencer who uses her platform for community education and advocacy, gives us her thoughts. Valeria posts about everything from personal content to community events and to racial injustice. When you post something purely fun or aesthetic versus something about a serious political issue, what happens to your views?
I feel like when I post something fun or aesthetic versus something about a serious political issue, it depends. Honestly, with my serious and political issues, they do get a lot more reactions and engagements and views depending on how I'm speaking about the political issue or what it is.
Do you ever feel like you have to dress up a serious message in a trend just to get it seen?
Yes, I definitely feel like I have to dress up to get a serious message seen. I feel like I do have to share it in a way that gives more context or more perspective to whatever issue it is. In general, it's like not enough these days to just be sharing or posting like an information square or like a flyer or anything. Like people just don't read. Our attention span is so bad that people aren't reading things anymore. So I kind of have to think of like creative ways or more in a storytelling way to share like certain political issues.
This is what scholars call racial capitalism. Essentially, platforms make money off of our vibes because it's easy for brands to sell. But when we talk about injustice, we become unmarketable. The system extracts our culture but silences our concerns to keep things brand friendly. In my class, we talk about invisible labor, the work people do behind the scenes that the industry doesn't pay for or even acknowledge. Valeria, as an advocate, you're doing more than just making content. Does it feel like a double edged sword when you're having to maintain a certain look to keep your following while also trying to do the real work of helping the community?
I don't feel like I have to maintain a certain look to keep my following. I definitely know that a lot of people who follow me or maybe don't follow me anymore have disagreed with me, and that's fine. I don't think it's about, I don't think it's related to me having to keep a certain look. However, I do try to share other things about my personal life outside of just political issues because I think also too it's like it's a tricky balance. I think people go to the internet or go online to escape a lot of like really heavy news and things, and so I just don't want my channel or like my platform to always be like sharing really hard and also triggering things. I try not to share like triggering videos. um I think like I speak on things like hopefully like in a balanced way. Like I do like a mix of personal and creative stuff and then a mix of political issues because I feel like as a public figure, I think that there are people who only share political things and don't have any other look to them, and then they get put under like an activist label. And then that whole world is really interesting because it's very hard. Like people don't think or say that you're doing enough. So it's just like it's all like a crazy world. So all to say, I prefer to just have a balanced content and platform that multiple people can relate to.
Valeria's strategy reveals the hidden weight of platform labor. It's the invisible work of audience creation, carefully balancing political gravity with personal joy to prevent follower burnout. By managing her community's emotional capacity, she avoids being boxed into a narrow activist label, a trap that often leads to audience fatigue. Platforms profit from this sophisticated labor, yet they offer no support for the mental toll required to maintain that perfect relatable balance. There's a theory called agenda setting, which basically says the media tells us what to think about. If the algorithm only shows us Latino as entertainers, it's setting an agenda that we aren't political leaders or thinkers. When people see the loud, funny Latino creators on their feed, how do you think that affects the way they view our community in the real world?
Yeah, it's so hard because um, Latinos like have the right to be whatever kind of creator they want to be, right? Like they're allowed to be in the space that's like loud and funny or like themselves. However, I do think that a lot of Latinos are already categorized as like loud and unfortunately toxic and crazy. And so I feel like feeding into certain stereotypes does more harm to our community. And unfortunately, a lot of creators do profit off of just being Latino, but then won't address issues. And to be honest, that's something that like I kind of wrestle with, where it's like, do creators who have platforms, do they have the right to not have to acknowledge certain topics if they don't want to? Like, are they allowed to separate politics from their content? But I think with everything that's happened, it's far beyond a political issue and just more of a humanity issue. And so I think it could easily affect how they view our, or how like other people view our Latino community.
Communication has an undeniable amount of power, but right now, algorithms are shifting that power away from justice and toward profit. How can communities and fellow creators work together to make sure these important messages don't get buried by the platform rules?
Or sorry, creators helping to fight against the algorithm. I feel like when they're in community with other creators or organizations and things like that, they want you to use, and like with Meta, they want you to use all the features that they're giving you. So like with Instagram, they want you to use the questions box. They want you to use the share button and the repost button and things like that. Otherwise, they won't push your content. Like they want to make sure that you are actually, it's so messed up, but like that you are actually using the app, aside from just posting.
To break the cycle, we have to be intentional. Don't just scroll past the heavy stuff. Engage, share, and disrupt the feed. Support the creators doing the invisible labor because our culture is more than just a trend.